Hey guys, I'm Gary, or Gangsta Guri as some of you guys know. I'm
Okay.
a Scorpio sun, Libra moon, and I'm a Pisces rising.
Yes. I'm Chris, and I'm a Scorpio with a rising and moon in Capricorn.
Hi guys, I am Tamika, just Tamika. I am a Pisces sun, a Taurus moon, and a Scorpio rising.
Oh.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Terry. I am a Cancer Sun, Scorpio Moon, Gemini Rising.
This is too much.
It's a lot of
There's
water.
a lot of
Come
water.
on,
There's
man.
water
A lot of
signs.
Scorpio.
It's a lot of
A lot of
Scorpio.
Scorpion energy.
Lots of
I'm not used
scorpions.
to that.
No, I'm not.
I'm not used to that.
Water of the
Hey,
desert.
listen.
Ew.
It takes us water signs to get this conversation going.
No,
It's
true.
true.
Like,
It's actually, I think that's so true.
So for real, like I think water signs naturally were nurturers and about
Yes.
healing and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what we had to talk
Are
about.
we the most intuitive?
It's a.
Did I
I
dare say
think
that?
water and okay.
because water,
everyone
you know-
has intuition.
Yeah.
But I do find that often water signs, and I'll also say fire signs, have very deep intuition. That said, can also be an air sign or an earth sign
Right.
and still be intuitive, be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
reader, of course, right?
Yeah.
So, but water, it's the emotions
Mhm.
element,
Right,
you know.
that's- yeah.
So,
Hmm.
yes, very much so tied to our feelings and our intuition.
Do y'all find that we're as emotional as people say water signs are?
Yes and no. I think that the
Yeah.
thing is we are so tapped into wanting to know more about ourselves and wanting to know more about everybody else around us and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So it's just like because of that, we have to look at the spectrum of what it's like to have all of these feelings, have all these vibrations, because it helps us to understand our own. So I don't think that makes us emotional. I think that just makes us more emotionally aware.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, and then oftentimes people are just going so left field with it. It's like the
Mhm.
most typical stereotype
Right.
about being an emotional person. And it's like,
Mhm.
no, it's not. It's deeper than that. Like, it's not like that.
I
Yeah.
do find I think water signs tend to be a little bit more emotionally expressive than perhaps other
Yes.
signs.
Mhm.
I don't know that I consider that to be a weak point though.
No, not at all.
You know, I
Right.
find the suppressions of emotions can be really more of the weakness. And so I
Yes.
really
Okay.
appreciate people who can express and show outward
courageous.
their emotionality.
Mhm.
Yes.
I think what we're really talking about here too is emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
right? And emotional aptitude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I felt that.
Okay, so
felt
emotional aptitude, emotional intelligence. How
Yeah.
about we tap into why is that even important for us to be able to function in like our daily lives? Because I think that's part of the issue.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not understand that emotional intelligence and being able to be
Yes.
empathetic. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Being
Right.
able to be emotionally aware is how we can really be of assistance to one another. And I think that's one of the
When to
missing
turn
pieces.
on and turn off.
There you go.
Because that could be dangerous.
Everybody don't deserve that love.
Okay.
Everybody does not deserve that emotion, and sometimes you have to know when to give it and when to cut it off. And I think that's half of the issue. We don't understand that we have to
Yes.
show up for other people how we want folks to show up for us.
Funny, someone tweeted, because there's a lot of like astrological social media platforms now, and
Yeah.
someone had posted that water signs aren't necessarily emotionally intelligent. People just see us that way because we express our emotions, which I think, in a sense, might be true. Because me, as a younger Cancer, I used to just fly off the hinge with my emotions
But that's-
and not direct it
Um,
exactly where it,
Let's
exactly
talk
where
about
it
that.
needed to
Yeah,
go.
it's
You know what I
just-
mean?
Obviously, we didn't know better, you know.
Yeah.
And it's the same for me. Like I was very expressive as a kid and a younger, like a teenager, but I wasn't aware of what I was doing. I wasn't aware of the power that I had of being
Right,
connected to
right.
that emotion and like being emotionally aware of myself.
Yeah.
It's not until we reach a certain age that we kind of get that awareness, and that's when we start to use it for
Right.
our benefit and healing, and just actually bringing awareness to people. Like, wait, no, I'm not just
Yeah.
going off the hinge and just like telling the world how I feel, but I'm
Right.
actually doing it for a reason. You know,
I think those life experiences come in, and then it's like, oh,
right?
yeah, let me just.
I mean, and then doesn't that like Saturn return have anything, like, you know, it's the same
Right.
thing. It's like
Yes.
at a certain age you kind of start to become aware of the things that you were doing, or you just kind of like there's a connection
I feel like
somehow.
that's like 27,
Yeah.
28-ish.
Yeah.
That's when you start looking at everything around you like, man, forget this. I'm
Right.
not doing this shit.
Mhm.
And it's just like you start really thinking about how you decide to inhabit your
Yes.
own body and how other people respond to that. And it's just like every year, I think around like that 27 to 28 age, I think it starts like around 26 where you start feeling the urge to be like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I'm questioning things.
Yeah.
And then you start leaning into it more. And by the time, because the lovely thing about us sitting here is we are all at least 30.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like we've had time to, because you pointed out just like being younger cancer. And I think that
Yeah.
mature cancer, mature anybody,
Yeah.
somebody that's done the work, that's the difference in between how we decide to show up. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? So I feel like all of that kind of like intertwine in regards to doing that work or just being of
Right.
love, being of a service to others.
For example, like as an adult now, I look back and I felt like I've always had that wisdom and that intuition. Like I felt like an angel was guiding me my entire life. But it wasn't until now, being in my 30s and like just really reflecting on my life and how like things that I've done in my childhood, that I've really connected that. And I was like, wait. Like, but this has always been in me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just I wasn't aware of it. But I've always felt like I've had that wisdom or that connection to something
Right.
higher than myself that's been guiding me. And it was at 26, actually, when I started to experience certain situations, like circumstances in my life. And that's when it caused me to kind of, like, I was going this way. And then that's when I went this way. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have to, like, there's some exploring I have to do within myself.
right,
And it's
right.
now in my 30 that I'm realizing I've always had that connection. I just didn't know what it was as a kid.
That's really true of all of us, right? And I feel like that's
Yeah.
one of the beautiful things I think just about growing and learning and evolving is that you realize is that all this knowledge always lives within,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it just that really speaks to like the interconnectedness of all of us and of us to the universe, right?
And openness to it, being open
Yes.
to it.
And to y'all's point, I feel like, I think I'm one of the older ones on the panel here, but I can definitely remember when I was approaching my Saturn's return and at around 25, 26, I call it my quarter life crisis period, actually. And I feel like we all went through that, right? But that was really when, I always had a sort of surface or, shallow interest in astrology, but that's when I think it was a friend of mine who was like, you should look into your birth chart. And I was like, what's that?
Right.
Yeah.
And it opened up my eyes and everything. I was like, this makes so much sense.
Right.
This is why I'm like this. This is why people respond to me like
Yeah.
this. It was like in my younger years, emotional issues or situations were going to be harder to navigate because it was going to take time for me to acquire a certain level of emotional intelligence and being able to respond sometimes from a more logical perspective as opposed to an emotional one. Even though we are water and we have to embody that and really lead with our heart space, all of us, we have to learn how to balance all of the energies that exist within us if we really
Yes.
want to live up to our fullest potential.
It's true.
Definitely.
Because too much water overwhelms,
You're gonna drown.
right?
Yes.
Oh, you'll drown. You'll
Yeah.
drown.
And I'll drown.
Exactly.
Plenty of times in
Drowning
Canada.
can be beautiful, actually. It's almost like a
Well,
rebirth.
yeah.
It-
Yeah.
depending on how you accept it.
Yeah.
Come
No.
emerge from the water.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
What
I
happened?
know, I'm just saying, he's such a Scorpio. Like,
I know.
We just love to kill ourselves.
The fascination. of
Well, Scorpio's the death card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a
Listen.
rebirth.
Yeah,
Lord
actually,
knows.
a fun tidbit, kind of fun. As a water sign, I did almost drown as a child. Like
Really?
literally at I don't really remember it. It's just people tell me. But yeah, I ran straight into the end of a deep end of a pool.
Oh,
I did
shit.
not know how to swim.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I always thought that was very metaphorical. You know,
Right.
like
You're like 5 or 6, like you go to the community pool
Yes.
and everybody in there, and then you
Yes.
just float over to the, and then you're like, oh shit, and nobody's paying attention
Right.
to you, and you're
Right.
like,
Your feet start doing this.
okay, and then somebody to snatch me out of there, and I feel like that theme of drowning is very like,
yes.
because my stepbrother actually drowned when I was like, maybe like 2-3 years ago.
Oh yes,
wow.
I'm sorry. about
So
that, yes.
no, it's like this theme has been very prevalent in my life. So I really think of like water as like the opportunity to really just like come anew. And I mean, that's why I do a lot of my meditation, honestly, these days. Because you would think, obviously, if that's something that has appeared in your life, you would run away from it. But no, it's like I try to run towards it because there's some sort of answer. There's some sort of healing, healing in that. And just like giving yourself like that moment to submerge and just kind of like take yourself out of it.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
feel like in that sense of just like kind of like running into the deep end, but knowing like not knowing that you'd be safe, but being safe regardless.
Yes.
Just
It was
power
really
that.
taking a step out on faith, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It's a mission,
funny.
okay?
Y'all are bringing this up because whenever I look up things about cancers, it's always like cancers love the beach and they love water. And I'm actually terrified of like waves and like water and things like that because I always have like this reoccurring dream of either dying by flood, a tsunami, or whatever the case may be, and I just always have this anxiety about water. So to
Probably a
speak.
past
life.
life.
That's what I'm
exactly what I was gonna
thinking.
say.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Anytime it rains too hard, I'm looking out the window like,
Wow.
Yeah.
is it time? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just like,
That's interesting.
No, it's your past life, child, making flashes into your current life, and probably connected to why you are here now.
And might be partly also why you're a water sign.
Yeah,
You know, the universe is
something else.
funny like that.
very funny.
Does
Very,
stuff
very
like that,
funny.
yeah. So to your point though, Gary, like I get you. Like there are certain bodies of water I prefer over others. Like I'm more quick to jump into a pool or an ocean as opposed to a lake. It's like
Oh,
something
no, I
about
ain't
the
messing with a lake.
stillness
Yeah.
and non-filtration that I just can't.
Yeah.
You know, or like rivers. Probably, you know, but I love my showers and my baths, and
Yeah.
actually, I'm really, you know, meditation is a near daily practice that I have, but visualization as well, and I like to combine the two, meditation and visualization. So I'll take baths or showers,
Yeah.
and especially if I'm having, you know, a particularly rough day or a rough week, whatever, you know, I'll really put my intentionality in that bath or that shower and cleansing and clearing away everything
Yeah.
that's, you know, lower vibrational, that's bothering me, that's not serving me. And I remember the first time that I really did that, you know, and it wasn't a bath, it was a shower. It was over the summer. And I was just like really going through it. And I stepped out of the shower and there was a huge rainbow outside. And I was just like, and that was to me
That's
like
beautiful.
confirmation, like,
Yeah.
yes, this works. Yes.
it
And like
like that.
continue to do
Yeah.
this.
Damn wow.
You know?
The signs
I love
right.
that kind of confirmation.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
I
the
love
signs
it.
are there, but then like sometimes, like I would have saw that and I'd be like, wait, bitch, am I bugging?
Let me take a picture.
That reassurance, right? Because it's kind of it's so there. The universe is so here for us,
Yes.
but it can be scary to like,
See that.
yeah, or
yeah.
actually like be open to that. Like, wait, is it really me? Am I making this up, or this is
Yeah.
really a thing?